We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
The Middle East is on fire, the flu is on the rise, job numbers come in, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. ISIS claimed responsibility Thursday for an attack that killed more than 80 people, gathered Wednesday to honor General Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's elite force who was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq 4 years ago. The twin suicide bombings marked the deadliest militant attack in Iran since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The attack came as Middle East tensions escalate over Israel's war against Hamas, which is linked to Iran. The bombers likely hoped to prompt Iran to strike Israel directly, according to Aaron Zellin, a senior fellow at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. A Thursday U.S. drone strike in Baghdad killed a senior figure in an Iran-linked military group, the Harakat al-Nujabi, the Pentagon said was linked to recent attacks on U.S. personnel in Iraq. An Iraqi government spokesman called the attack a flagrant violation of the sovereignty and security of Iraq that was no different from a terrorist act. The missile hit a vehicle near a headquarters of the 12th Brigade of Nujabi, part of the Popular Mobilization Forces security group, and killed Brigade Commander Mushtaq Talib al-Sadi and 2 others. The State Department designated Nujabi a terrorist organization in 2019. Nujabi has tried to help Hamas in its war in Israel, and the strike fueled fears of a wider war. Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, on Thursday described the scaled-down and new combat approach Israeli forces plan to use in the next phase of fighting in northern Gaza and said the war against Hamas would continue in southern Gaza for as long as necessary. The comments came ahead of a visit by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken for weekend talks. The U.S. has urged Israel to shift to less intense fighting in Gaza and do more to protect civilians. On Thursday, an Israeli strike flattened a home in part of Gaza's southern coastline that Israel had designated a safe zone. Palestinian hospital officials said the blast killed at least 12 people, including 10 children. 25% of Americans believe the FBI probably or definitely organized and encouraged the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack, according to a Washington Post University of Maryland poll released Thursday. Among Republicans, 34% say the FBI was behind the insurrection, compared to 30% of independents and 13% of Democrats. The poll confirms that the January 6th Commission was a show trial that did not reveal compelling evidence as the United States heads into a presidential election year with Trump the strong favorite to win the Republican presidential nomination. 33 states are reporting high to very high case counts of flu and similar illnesses, with the flu season expected to continue getting rougher as students return from winter break. So far, health officials have recorded about 4,500 flu-related deaths, including 20 children, since the season began in October. The flu outbreak comes as a new coronavirus variant, JN1, causes another COVID-19 wave. The new dominant variant appears to be more likely than many other variants to infect those who have been vaccinated or previously infected. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported 29,000 people were hospitalized with COVID in the week before Christmas, compared to 39,000 a year earlier. Stocks continue to struggle in the new year, with futures edging lower early Friday ahead of the December jobs report. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average were down 0.2% at 7 a.m. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq futures were down 0.3%. The Dow was little changed on Thursday, while the S&P 500 and the tech-heavy Nasdaq fell 0.3% and 0.6% respectively. The three major averages are on track to snap a 9-week winning streak in a rough start to 2024 trading after 2023's gains. The Nasdaq has fallen 3.3% this week. The Dow and the S&P 500 are down 0.7% and 1.7% respectively. However, U.S. job growth continued to chug along at a healthy pace in December, suggesting that the labor market remains resilient even in the face of higher interest rates, stubborn inflation, and other economic uncertainties. Employers added 216,000 jobs in December, the Labor Department said in its monthly payroll report released Friday morning. That was slightly above the 170,000 jobs forecast by economists. The unemployment rate held steady at 3.7%. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.